Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to cover the top 7 Python GUI libraries. So I've done a video like this before on my channel, but that was way back in 2020. So of course, there's a lot of updated information, some more libraries to talk about, and some new details that we can cover. So I will cover an overview of each of these libraries, describe it, what are the features, what are the capabilities and the things that you can do with it. Then I will cover the pros and cons. I'll talk a bit about licenses, how you can release apps under which licenses with each of these libraries, because of course this will differ, this will affect your pricing. And finally, the different factors that will enable you to choose which one to use for your specific application. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, just a brief overview and introduction. While I do know most of you probably know this already, what is a graphical user interface or a GUI? It's basically an interface where the user communicates with the computer. So you have the user, or in this case yourself, and you want to communicate with your computer using this interface. So this can look something like these guys right here. So you can see that you have different buttons, different components. This can be both on a desktop or on a mobile device. And of course, you will use these buttons and other interactive elements to interact with your computer and communicate with it. So the 7 most popular Python GUI libraries, and I'm doing this based on popularity. There are of course other alternatives, but I will not cover them because they are less widely used overall. So here you have Tkinter, WxPython, PyQt, PySide, Kivy, PyGTK, and PySimpleGUI. So let's start with Tkinter. So Tkinter is a built-in library with Python. So this makes it super easy to start with. If you have Python installed, chances are that you can get started working with Tkinter already. It's super beginner friendly. You can build really nice and simple applications, and then you can deploy them to Windows, macOS, and Linux. So it is a cross-platform library. Now, the next one is WxPython. So WxPython, you can use it to build apps with the Wix Widgets toolkit. So this is another type of library. It's a totally different one from Tkinter. And here you can also build these cross-platform applications. In this case, you use this Wix widgets, which can enable you to have these complex and customizable widgets, which is really cool if you want to build more advanced applications. With Tkinter, overall, you will be building these simpler applications. I have some videos on my channel discussing and showing some of these applications and giving some tutorials. But with WxPython, you can actually customize these widgets and make them more complex. So for more complex applications, this could be even better. It is designed to be efficient and use as little memory as possible. So this is another feature that you can keep in mind. Now the next one is PyQt. So I have a ton of videos on PyQt on my channel. It's a set of Python bindings for the Qt cross-platform application framework. What does this mean? So Qt in fact is a C++ library. You can use it on C++ to create these GUIs or these desktop applications. Now PyQt takes this Qt library and creates a binding for it using Python so that you can use Python to build these Qt applications. This is a really advanced library, not advanced in terms of its difficulty to use, but in terms of the things that you can create with it. Tons of enterprises and very large companies actually create applications with Qt, which makes this even better if you want to build a really big and large and complex application. There are also some tools like Qt Designer and Qt Creator, which make development much more efficient. So, for example, rather than having to code every single piece of your interface or every single widget, you can use the Qt Designer, simply drag and drop different elements in your interface, and then you will have them ready for you to start and launch the application. You don't have to code all of it line by line. You can use just this drag and drop tool. So this is super efficient. Now, also it is widely used, as I already mentioned, used at enterprise level and big companies. Now, the latest version is PyQt 6, but before that, we also had PyQt 5 and PyQt 4 as well. Now, the next one is PySide. So this one is very similar to PyQt. I could have also combined them in one library, but they are totally different and they belong to 2 different companies. So it's another kind of Python binding for the Qt framework. So again, we have the Qt C++ library, and PySide is another Python library that also uses Qt, which is the C++ library. So it's super similar in terms of code to PyQt. There are some differences. I have another video like breaking down all the differences between the two. Essentially, a lot of the code is transferable between the two. If you learn how to use one, you can probably learn how to use the other one. in about a day. So they are very, very similar, but they are developed by two different companies for sort of the same purpose. They also have a difference in license. I'll talk about this later on within the video where I discuss the pricing and the licensing for you to deploy these applications. You can also use the Qt Designer tool. So the Qt Designer, the one that you can use with drag and drop, you can use this with PySide. And the latest version is PySide 6. Now the next one is Kivy. So Kivy is powerful, easy to use, and open source. You might have heard of Kivy before, and if you have, you usually associate this with mobile apps. It's very, very popular for building mobile apps and games using Python. So you can actually build and deploy apps on Android and iOS, which is really nice. It has multi-touch input support, which means that you can touch the screen in multiple places while using the app. This makes it really suitable for games and other types of interactive mobile apps. It also uses OpenGL for hardware accelerated graphics rendering. This means that it uses the hardware within your phone or your desktop, doesn't have to be a phone. It uses the hardware to actually accelerate the graphics rendering and provide high quality graphics. It is designed to be fast and efficient. So Kivy, super popular in the mobile development space. It is also designed for rapid prototyping. So this was one of the main things that Kivy promotes about their library. So it's designed for rapid prototyping, meaning that you can get an app up and running fairly quickly. And finally, we have another feature, which is Kivy MD. This is really helpful for designing modern UIs. So it uses material design to create these very modern looking UIs. They don't look as outdated as other libraries may actually have. Now the next one is PyGTK. This is slightly less popular than the other ones that we talked about. Here it's a set of Python wrappers for the GTK library. So just like PyQt is a Python binding for the Qt library, in this case PyGTK is a wrapper for the GTK library. So originally it was developed for Python 2, but support for Python 3 was later on added. It is also cross-platform and high performance as well. They also have a Glade tool, which is a drag and drop interface for you to design your UIs. So you can drag and drop different widgets, buttons, labels, things like that, and then you can create your interface. It also has support for 2D graphics via another library that you can use with it. And there is a new alternative, which is the PyGObject. So PyGObject and PyGTK are both wrappers for the GTK library. There are slight differences between the two, but I will not be going through that within this video. Now finally, we have PySimpleGUI. This is the simplest and most straightforward to use out of all of the ones that I mentioned. It's a wrapper that takes these existing Python GUI libraries such as WxPython and Tkinter, and it makes coding even simpler and more intuitive by wrapping it up and giving you straightforward functions that you can use. Now, it also has some options for drag and drop interfaces using external libraries for designing your UI. And again, it is really simple, really beginner friendly, and I highly recommend it if you are just starting out. Okay, so we talked about each of these different libraries individually. Let's actually talk about the 5 factors that you should consider when selecting which library to use. So you may be watching this video because you want to develop a certain application and you don't know which library to use. Or you want to learn a new library but you don't know which one to start with. I will cover all of these using these 5 factors. The first factor is the learning curve. So a lot of my viewers are actually people who are learning Python or learning Python GUI programming, and they want to see what's the best way to get started. If that is you, this slide is for you. So Tkinter is very easy to get started with. As I said before, it's built in with Python, there's no hassle in installing it, and it's super easy to use. WxPython is also simple, it has a low learning curve. Now, PyQt on the hand is slightly tougher and it has a steeper learning curve. This is because it's really advanced, you can build these really big applications, but again, at the end of the day, if you are only going to build a simple app, then the learning curve may not be all that great. This again depends on how complex your application is or what you are choosing to build yourself. Now, PySide, very similar to PyQt, as I said before, a lot of the code is transferable. Now, one thing to note here, if you know one of them, so if you know PyQt or PySide, because a lot of the code is transferable between the two, then the learning curve becomes very minimal. Now we have Kivy. So Kivy is it has simple and low learning curve. So it's pretty easy to use. It was designed for fast prototyping, as we said before, so it's pretty easy to learn. PyGTK, it's relatively steeper than the others, and it's also not as popular, which makes it difficult to find lots of examples, but it is in general relatively steeper. Finally, you have PySimpleGUI. So PySimpleGUI has a very low learning curve. As I said before, it's designed to be simple and straightforward. So the next factor we should take into account is the features and capabilities. Of course, when you want to choose a library to build a certain app, this will depend on what this library is capable of. So for example, Tkinter, while it's very useful for building these simple, straightforward applications, as I have on my channel in several videos, the capabilities are limited. If you are trying to build a very large application that is super complex, Tkinter is not the one for you. On the other hand, Kivy, let's say for example you want to build a mobile or a game, so a mobile application or a different game that you can have on your mobile, then definitely Kivy is the one to go. Here there is no question about it. It enables you to have modern UIs, it's high performance, it's perfect for this type of scenario. Now, WxPython, if you want to customize your own widgets, have these advanced, customizable, complex widgets, WxPython is the one for you. PyQt or PySide, here again, as I said before, it has much more advanced scalable apps. It's used at enterprise level. So if you are a company, you're looking to build software with Python, this could probably be the way to go. Then you have PyGTK. So this is high performance with diverse libraries as well. PySimpleGUI, it's very simple, very straightforward if you are a beginner, but it also may be limited in terms of how complex your apps can be. The third thing we need to take into account is the platforms that are supported. So you want to develop using a library that supports the platform you want to build on. So Tkinter, it supports all platforms that support Python. This is because it's a built-in library, as we said many times before. WxPython, PyQt, PySide, they all support Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. However, one thing to note is that PyQt and PySide can also be deployed on Android and iOS, but they are better suited for desktop applications. You can use tools to deploy PyQt and PySide on Android and iOS, but it's definitely preferable for desktop apps. Kivy, you have Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. It's cross-platform and it supports mobile. PyGTK and PySimpleGUI for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. The fourth factor we want to talk about is licenses and pricing. So now you want to develop your application and you want to sell it or you want to release it for people to download. Which one should you use and how much should you pay with each of these libraries? So with Tkinter, this is under the Python Software Foundation license, it's open source, so there's no problem about it here. WxPython uses the Wix Windows library license, which is an extension of the LGPL license. Then you have PyQt, which uses GPL, PySide LGPL, Kivy MIT, PyGTK LGPL, and PySimpleGUI MIT. So now that you know which license each of these uses, let's talk about the difference between each license. So the GPL license, the one used by PyQt. In this case, you must share your source code of your app to be able to release it without paying. So here you have two choices. Either you will purchase a commercial license from PyQt, and then you can sell or you can release your application without sharing your source code with anyone. You keep your source code closed source. Or you can share your code, but you have to share all of your code and then release it without paying. So you can release it without paying money, but you have to share your code. On the other hand, the LGPL license, which is used by PySide, PyGTK, and WxPython, is more permissive. So you are allowed to use the software and then release it without having to share your code. It's not mandatory for you to share your code. So with GPL, either purchase a license and keep your code closed, or you have to share your code in order to release it without paying. LGPL, you can release it without paying and you don't need to share anything. Same for MIT, it's the most flexible out of the three. You do not need to share your source code when releasing your apps and you don't have to pay any money. Finally, the final factor to consider is the community. It's really important that the library that you use has a large community and lots of resources available online. This is especially true if you are more of a beginner to intermediate developer, you're not super advanced, you're still learning, you're doing this for your portfolio or to learn something new. It's really important to have a large community. This means that there are more people answering questions online on platforms like Stack Overflow, there's more documentation, more tutorials on YouTube or other websites. So this is super important. For Tkinter, extremely popular, it's built in with Python, lots and lots of resources online. For WxPython, you have a very large developer community that also has tons of resources, however not as much as Tkinter or some of the others. PyQt, it's extremely large, lots of resources, lots of advanced videos and advanced tutorials that you can use, courses, documentation, things like that. PySide, it's smaller than PyQt, but as I said before, the code is transferable between the two, so if you watch a video on PyQt, you are very likely to be able to convert the code into PySide without much hassle. Kivy also has a very large community. In general, with Python, a lot of things tend to have large communities with lots of examples and documentation. PyGTK has a smaller community, it's slightly less popular, but you can still use it. And finally, PySimpleGUI, while it is newer, it has a growing community and tons of examples and videos. So this brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you found it useful and now you're able to decide and figure out which of these 7 libraries you're able to use and which one you want to learn or use in your application next.